One of the other things with master's degrees, and this is an important point that a lot of times people don't understand, is they're also a way to change your career direction entirely. So a lot of times people will think that you have to have a bachelor's degree in a certain discipline in order to get a master's degree in that discipline, and that is not necessarily the case. One of the things, again, when you're looking at the different graduate programs, one of the things you want to ask is this an entry-level program? For instance, at the University of Southern Maine, we have a program in nursing that is for students with a bachelor's degree other than nursing. So you don't have to have a background in nursing at all. You can make a career change, come in and become a nurse practitioner through that program. And so there may be, again, that you might bump into the prerequisite coursework at that point, but that's something that you'd want to know and decide if you've got time in your undergrad, how you might pull those courses in, otherwise devise a plan for how you might do that. There's a lot of courses these days, a lot of programs I should say, that are designed to be entry level, because these days it's a lot different than it used to be. People aren't going into one career and staying in that career for their entire work life. I mean, the average now, I believe, is 3 to 4 times for people to completely change what they're doing. So keep that as an option as well. It's another way to do that change.
Related to what Robert said, I mentioned earlier when I was talking a little bit about my own graduate study. They have a degree in student affairs and higher ed. It's very uncommon to have an undergraduate program in that particular area. They're usually at the grad level. You have to come in with an undergraduate degree in some other major, and then study student affairs at the graduate level.
Mm-hmm. So sometimes it's a good idea when you're looking at these different programs, if it's something that you have that's of interest to you, to just ask what are some of the baccalaureate degrees that people have that are currently in the program. It's a way for you to kind of get just an idea of who's coming up, via which pathway. The next one is called Certificates of Advanced Study, and those are postmaster's programs. So we're sort of continuing up the chain here. Typically, certificates of advanced study are going to be things that will go on in a specific discipline that someone's working in. So again, nursing, a lot of times someone will do a certificate of advanced study and maybe add an additional credential to what they're doing. In education, you see that a lot. The certificate of advanced study is actually another step on a pay grade for people. So you can go into a deeper area of knowledge around something. The one that springs right to mind for me would be English as a second language is a very hot endorsement, and so that's one that people have gone on to a lot. Do you want to talk about those degrees?
Yeah. The final type of graduate degree, and the one that many people automatically think of when they think of graduate school, are the doctoral degrees, and primarily the PhD, the Doctor of Philosophy, which is the research degree, the degree that most faculty possess, and it is, when I say research degree, it really is just that. The thing that separates most master's level programs from PhD programs isn't so much the coursework. There oftentimes are, depending on the discipline, advanced courses that are available to doctoral students that master's students don't typically take. But the defining characteristic of a doctoral program is the dissertation. It's that one thing that demonstrates that you, as somebody that's studying to master a particular discipline, are capable of doing a research project independently on your own and be able to defend that before a group of your peers. And contribute to the body of knowledge that is out there in a particular area. And so when people talk about doctoral programs, they tend to almost automatically imply PhD. There are other doctoral programs that are available, many of them that are terminal degrees for faculty in a particular area. Just as I mentioned that there are professional degrees at the master's level, there's also a Doctor of Education degree that's intended for professional educators. There's a Doctor of Social Work, a Doctor of Public Administration. Each of those particular degrees tends to be more professionally focused in terms of its coursework. However, most of them, just like a PhD, do have some sort of requirement for a dissertation that would contribute to the body of knowledge in a particular field. in terms of doctoral programs, one thing that has come up when we've given this presentation before is, can you earn a master's degree on the way to a doctoral program? And what are the advantages of doing a master's degree at one institution and a doctoral degree at a different institution? And it's another one of those, it depends. There are many programs that it's very customary to apply straight to a doctoral program from your undergraduate program. Clinical psych is the one that comes to mind for me. It's very uncommon to have a master's degree in clinical psychology. It's almost always a doctoral program. But there are other programs where it's quite customary to earn a master's degree first, and you can either earn that master's degree at one institution and then apply to doctoral programs at a different institution, or you can earn your master's on the way. History, engineering, even some of the natural and physical sciences, it's quite common to earn a master's degree prior to entering into a doctoral program.
And again, depending on the program, some programs are going to require you to have a master's degree prior to application to their doctoral program. Some are not. Some are just designed for you to come straight out of your undergrad. So that's another thing as you're looking through different options, another question to bear in mind. Another thing, and we'll talk a little bit more about this, is in terms of what to look for in a graduate program is funding. At the undergrad level, there's certain types of funding that are available. At the graduate level, you still have the FAFSA that you fill out and you can be awarded financial aid. It tends to come in the form of loans at the graduate level. You don't see the Pell grants and things like that. There are some scholarship monies available, but there's also things called graduate assistantships and teaching assistantships and research assistantships. And I'll let you talk more about those as well.
Yeah, we talked a little bit at the beginning of the presentation about the difference between undergrad and grad admissions, and it's very important to note when you're preparing applications that the decision process for grad programs is faculty-centered. If there's one other point that should be stressed about graduate education, particularly for those of you that you might be pursuing doctoral degrees, is that your education, by and large, can be paid for. And it's a question that you need to ask, and you need to consider it when you're looking at schools. But in most doctoral programs across the country, no matter what size the institution, there are assistantships, fellowships, traineeships that are available that will help support your education. So you're not taking out student loans, and you're not having to pay for the education, your education yourself.